Hey Cloud Gamers, as we see how not to infiltrate a building, we are going to have a look at Hitman 3 in 4K across the Google Stadia Chromecast Ultra, Shield TV Pro running GeForce NOW, and maximum settings Cloud Gaming 2080 PC running also through the Shield TV at 4K. Starting off then, we've got a frame rate analysis tool thanks to EddiePlayer1. Do check out his channel for the advice on this. And we can see straight off the bat that Stadia and the Shield TV Pro are holding 60 frames per second quite happily. However, the maximum settings rig is at ultra settings here, along with the GeForce NOW version, which is at 1920 by 1080 upscaled to 4K. But as we come to the freeze frame here, we can see that the quality on Stadia is definitely down in the medium somewhere. But with the ultra settings, even on the 1080 upscale to 4K, GeForce NOW is looking a lot sharper, except when we look at the tree, which looks a little bit odd. But on maximum settings side, we can definitely see that quality boost. Stadia keeping its trademark warmer colors here. As we look at the bush, it looks a very different type of bush as we go over the wall. We see a bit of frame tear, which is that flash of color that you saw on the frames per second there. But overall, still looking very smooth across the board. And you can tell that Stadia is definitely more of a console port because it's got that kind of blurriness to it, which covers up some of that detail, unfortunately. Hopefully we'll see this getting sharper in future, but maybe if you've got a sharpener filter, it might also aid that. But we can see those frames per second are being very solid at 60 at 4K here for both Stadia and GeForce NOW. But the dips on maximum settings are barely noticeable as the motion is not really that quick, as we see another flash there of a couple of screen tears on both GeForce NOW and Stadia. As we get rid of the body, we're going to have a quick flick through all three as we approach the manor here. You can see as we flip between the two and then finally into maximum settings, the quality difference there with the blurriness of Stadia is a lot more obvious. As we come side by side, again looking out the back of the manor, it really shows up if you look at the background here, that maximum settings has got that great detail, but the Shield TV really looks quite weird here with the sharpening and the upscaling, with Stadia just staying a little bit blurry as usual. As we look on the singular images, we can see that quality difference quite clearly, especially on the character model right in front of us. Only maximum settings and Shield TV are really clear on the close-up detail. As we head into the house after our frisk, we'll do another frame analysis. And once again, we can look at that sharpening on the GeForce NOW version. If you look at the hair, it's you see that over sharpening. Whereas on Stadia and maximum settings, it's a lot smoother. And as you look at the floor here with the reflections, you wouldn't believe that ray tracing isn't actually enabled in this game. As we follow the butler here with the second frame rate analysis, we can see once again that Stadia is holding that 60 frames per second firm, and so is GeForce NOW on the Shield TV Pro. And as we come through the hallways, we can see that the quality is still slightly better on both Shield TV and maximum settings, but Google Stadia is still looking very good here. The reflections on the floor are absolutely outstanding in this game, and you really wouldn't believe that you don't need ray tracing. Bit of a strange one there, we see a dip on the Stadia frames. It seems to be dynamic frame rate as we pause and look at the doors there. As we move over to one of the conversations with one of the guests, we can really see that difference in quality now when we're looking at the character models. Even the Shield TV, because it's running Ultra for GeForce NOW, even with that AI upscaling, to me looks like it's got better quality than Stadia. But to be honest, when we look at them individually, it's a lot harder to see those differences, as we see a takedown on each one of the main target here. Starting with the Nvidia Shield TV Pro running GeForce NOW, we can see that sharpening detail on the hair specifically, but overall it still looks absolutely fantastic, and if you didn't know that this was a 1080 upscaled image, you would probably take it for granted as being 4K. As we get rid of the body there and the target, we can cover our tracks by taking on the disguise of the other bodyguard. And you would have thought that he would have noticed me throw the hammer at the other guy there, but it was the target that actually noticed, which was a shame because I was hoping to push her out the window for the first time. You do have to love the variety of Hitman and all the different ways that you can take down the targets. As we have the same target here, manage to follow them into a different room. But when we have Stadia full screen, you don't really notice that blurriness at all. It's only really when you have it side by side with the others that it stands out. And on a TV, that kind of smoothing actually plays to its advantage. Once again taking down the main target, this time with a knife, and the other bodyguard didn't seem to even notice, even though he should have been looking at the target at the time. But hey, there's a secret passage, so let's see if we can take that. And again, moving around, we can see that Stadia holding 60 frames per second firm. And this is one of the advantages of it running on that slightly lower settings on the graphics side. It definitely holds the frame rate a lot better on Hitman 3. And I must admit that when you are playing this on the TV, it does look absolutely fantastic. Bingo. As we move over to maximum settings then, for 4K to finish, this is running 4K native and on the Ultra settings as well, hence we saw those frame dips. And you can see me failing to use the wire there. Because she noticed me, it seemed to just hit her instead of using the wire, but oh well, the target is dead.
Time to get the file on Arthur.
As I try and find my way out of the room, you can have a look around and you do notice that 60 frames per second dips occasionally as we're moving around. And we get that kind of blur effect of the environment, which we did not see on the GeForce NOW or the Stadia versions. Overall, it does play extremely well on all three. As we come back to the outdoors, once again we can see those quality differences a lot more prominent, but when you're using it just full screen in that mode, those differences are barely noticeable unless you know where to look. Hitman 3 is an absolutely great game and I've had a lot of fun playing this, and I'm definitely going to go and complete some more of the missions. And I'm not sure which system I'm going to use just yet, because they all run great. Don't forget that these all have different price points and different advantages depending on your area, so do check out our video for the current state of cloud to get a good feeling for which one is right for you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest across all cloud gaming platforms, and we will see you next time.